It's Jonathan Hickman's turn to take on the Earth's mightiest heroes in Marvel Now's lead Avengers book.
And Swamp Thing and Animal Man meet in the DC crossover event Rotworld. So we're going to start off this week with I suppose it's the biggest of the Marvel Now titles.
It's the main one.
Yeah.
It's the daddy.
It is Jonathan Hickman's Avengers #1, art by Jerome Opena? Opena? I don't know how to pronounce that.
The accent is on the E.
The accent's on the N.
So it is. So it is.
Yeah, this is kind of the big anticipated book, big relaunch for it.
It felt more like a relaunch and a reboot than some of the others have.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get any kind of we're re-establishing the Avengers.
No, it's not an origin.
No, it's straight in with it, which I've got to say I like the fact they did that and it wasn't an origin thing. But yeah, so there's this new villain on Mars who's trying to create life elsewhere, shooting out into space these evolution bombs that have been hitting Earth, and the Avengers go to stop him, and we see how that one pans out by the end of the book.
Yeah.
What did you think of Avengers #1?
Yeah, well, this whole book is basically an excuse to say to the new reader, because the whole thing about Marvel Now and all of these Avengers books, of course, is that they are in the shadow of this film that came out, and so people are picking books up. Oh, Avengers #1, I'm gonna. And what people won't know if they're completely new to comics is that in years past, in recent times, even for as long as I can remember, Avengers has been not just the main six that we see.
Yeah. In fact, the majority of the time, it's not those six.
It's all of your favorite DC characters. It's Animal Man, that we're going to talk about eventually. But so this whole book and this whole arc, it seems, is an excuse to say we're going to get a load of people in. We're going to have a load of Avengers, and we can see that from Hickman's graph. Oh God, is this the right way to do a first issue? Like, it is just. It's almost a flawless first issue. It does everything right. It ticks every single box. We get a great kind of marriage of the old and the new. There's an outstanding panel where...
Is it the one with the Hulk?
No. I'm gonna mention that as well, but there's first of all there's one with Iron Man, where he's looking... I think he's either looking into a screen or he's imagining when he first found
Captain America,
and we see his reflection in the old Iron Man suit. The way the Hulk is drawn is so classic looking, and just something.
It's that original.
Oh, we haven't seen
Avengers, Jack Kirby days, but with a modern twist to the kind of color scheme,
right? Yeah. The dialogue in this book, the way they go off each other, generic villains, but I think that's the point. This isn't really about them. Yeah. It's about this team. It's about the excuse to grow and to build the Avengers. And it was, for me, it was just the perfect way to do a first issue. You don't get better than this.
And I mean, this book is almost, to the person who does pick this up thinking, I've just seen the film, I want to read comics, this is what I get. Mm-hmm. You get the major six at the start, and then by the end they go, here's a bunch of new Avengers that you've never heard of. Like, I mean, they don't introduce any of them.
But the way they introduce them is perfect.
Yeah, you just get that one shot and you
get the graph.
Yeah, and you've got like Spider-Woman there, and Wolverine, and Falcon, and Captain Marvel, and there's a lot of people on that. I don't know who half of them are.
Same, but I like that, and I like that we're gonna find out, and I like that this first issue sings of confidence.
Yeah,
it looks great. It looks classic.
Yeah.
Avengers fans, I think they must be over the moon, because this really was, for me, an outstanding first issue.
Absolutely fantastic, and I echo all your points, so I don't think there's any need to linger on that.
Awesome. So, one of the things that way back when the New 52 started, we were in the comic shop, and Animal Man, Swamp Thing were coming out. I think I'd started buying them already, perhaps I seem to remember, because I started picking up the New 52 before you.
I Yes, you were, and I jumped on Animal Man.
Yeah.
And you said get Swamp Thing.
Exactly,
like,
because already this thing was circulating that they're gonna fit.
Yeah,
they're gonna fit together.
Yeah.
And so for the last, this has been going on forever. It's going on for well over a year now.
Since 52 started, which was over a year ago.
And what's even more amazing about this is the fact that it's really one continuous arc. Issue 1 through to 15 of both books are the same story.
Yeah.
You can maybe argue that there are different facets on it. There's certainly pre-Rotworld and post-Rotworld.
Yeah, it's like the Court of Owls, Night of Owls thing in Batman. Like, they try and break it up into two different arcs, and it's not. You can't read one without having read the other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's this just epic, complex story that I've finally caught up on. You've been going through, I fell behind, and now I had like a marathon and watched Red. Although, and yeah, I'm caught up. Yep. And what we have now is this crossover between the two books, where they're very definitely crossed over, and each book is affecting the other one in a kind of major way. Well, at least in issue 12, anyway.
I would argue how crossed over they are, though. You got that initial prologue to Rotworld, part 1 and 2, which you had to pick up one or the other. Yeah. But since then, the crossover's kind of gone, crossed over, and we're away again. Like, we kind of know we're each there, but we're doing our own separate thing. Yeah. We'll probably meet up later on down the road, at the moment anyway. So, this is from issues 12 to 15. Those are what you've read. I've also read the annuals and the zeros, which, to be honest, don't have much in the way of relevance to it. It's just a little bit of extra. What do you think?
I just couldn't be happier, to be honest, with this. And I'm almost happy that I dropped off for a while just to catch my breath and then go for it and read them all, because it was such a pleasurable experience. This story is so epic, and not only is it epic, but it is every different facet and genre of story that you can imagine. Like, it's a superhero story, it's a horror story to some extent, it's like this fantasy quest story, it's a post-apocalyptic story.
Lord of the Rings meets Mad Max meets Nightmare on Elm Street.
Insane.
Yeah.
What I love specifically about the Rotworld stuff is the way that Snyder and Lemire have introduced this post-apocalyptic future. And every time I'm like, oh, of course Poison Ivy is part of the green. Of course Beast Boy is part of the red. Of course Steel would have survived. Like, the way they've created this world and the people who they've let inhabit it is stunning. Yeah. The elements of, like, the fact that Swamp Thing is journeying to Gotham for whatever reason, and Animal Man is journeying to Metropolis, and there is this whole mystery surrounding it, and there's rumors flying around.
That is one thing I love. Like, they're on their way to Metropolis, and they're like, well, what happened in the big battle of Metropolis? Yeah. Well, Superman just up and disappeared. Was he kidnapped, or did he just run away? I don't know. Is that who we're going to go and find? And it really does lead on with that.
Let's go and fight Arcane, or wait till you see who's guarding him.
Now, one thing I found very funny was I'm pretty sure it's in issue 12 of both Animal Man and Swamp Thing. That's where they first come back, and you kind of see the devastation that's happened. And you get all these different villains being destroyed by the Rot. There is one character in both books who is destroyed. Supergirl is in both of the books in the background being torn apart.
Right.
What is the beef with Supergirl in these books?
I don't know, but did you notice the advertising? When the Teen Titans came in and they were all like zombified versions, then it was a Teen Titans ad.
Oh no, I didn't notice that. That's smart.
It happened throughout when characters had come up, they put an advert for that.
That's quite clever. No, I mean, one thing I will say is between the two books, I've definitely, at the start, I was very Animal Man. Animal Man's the book out of the two of them. Swamp Thing's really slow, it's quite boring in pace, and da-da-da. With the kind of change in artists, which admittedly, reading number 15, I finally noticed the change in artist, and I didn't really like the artwork in the newest issue of Animal Man. It wasn't captivating me the way it was previously, whereas the art in Swamp Thing has been consistent and constantly improving. The way the panels break down in that kind of vine-like way, with the kind of naturalism of they're trying to show you that this guy embodies all things green and all things life, and I think they show that really well through the panel breakdowns and the interactions in the book, and I think Swamp Thing is definitely the better of the two. But with that being said,
to me now,
they really do, and Animal Man is still incredible. Jeff Lemire's writing on that is second only to Scott Snyder's writing on Swamp Thing. It's, both books are absolutely fantastic.
And talk about a story that could only be told through the medium of comics.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, it's just such a celebration of comics and of genre, and all tied together in this beautifully simplistic threesome of the red, the green, and the rot. And it seems like they've done that great job of making it new, but it seems like it's always been there. Yeah. Characters we know, we're like, oh yeah, of course.
It's brilliant, because I love the fact that, as you said, this is a medium that could only be done in comics, because you can't have crossovers like that anywhere else. You can't have Poison Ivy and Deadman showing up in something else, or, who is it in Animal Man? Beast Boy and Constantine. They're trying to introduce Constantine as this big character, because he's going to have his reboot in the DC universe now. Frankenstein. I loved seeing Frankenstein because I've read the first few Frankenstein Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I'm trying to pick up the other ones because it is great. Jeff Lemire, again, is fantastic. And I loved seeing him in issue 15.
I loved seeing them all. It feels like I'm on an adventure. Yeah. Like, it feels like I'm a kid again in this. If I read this as I was a kid, I would have fucking pissed myself. Because I just can't, even now, I'm just like...
I have this image that you're sitting there reading it, you get to the end of Swamp Thing and you go...
Need to go to the bathroom? No,
that happens.
I'm just like, I feel like I'm on this ride and like, whoa, where are they going to take me? Yeah. Characters crop up in Swamp Thing that we haven't seen for months, and in the most amazing way, and little references to Aquaman and the Flash.
That's so cool. And I've got to say, the end of both books in issue 15, like, Animal Man first did it, and I was like, oh my god! Swamp Thing's not going to be able to outdo that. And then with Swamp Thing, I was like, oh my god, it outdid that. It's absolutely... It's a game of one-upsmanship, these
What
days,
I will say,
but
please, in the best way. If there's anyone from DC watching that has any power, if there's any chance, collect all of these, everything, and don't give me the trades of Swamp Thing and Animal Man and then the Rotworld. Give me an omnibus, make it 1,500 pages long, however long it needs to be. Charge me £100 for it. I will buy it. Please.
Which is terrible, because you've got it.
I don't care. Because it's one story. It's one story. It's the biggest story I've ever read in comics. I've never read a comic this is 24, 25, will be 30, 40 issues long. One story. Crazy.
Well, it's already 30 issues long. Crazy. It is. And I'd just quickly say, whilst I don't like buying the annuals and the zeros, of all the DC books that did those, did it best.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so if you're not reading it, if you're like me and you fell behind,
catch up.
Make sure you catch up. Also, I just want to say, follow us on Twitter. We have a new Twitter account. The YouTube's all crazy at the moment. You can get all our new videos if you follow us on Twitter. And if you do, we're going to be doing a little giveaway, and you can pick one of the books that we've been talking about today. And we'll send you if you win, but you have to follow us on Twitter.
Not my copy, though.
No, not my copy. His. You have to follow us on Twitter to find out more about that. Join us on Wednesday. What will we be doing on Wednesday?
On Wednesday, we are going to be doing another superhero versus superhero showdown.
And on Friday, we're going to be doing something new, and we're going to be talking about some hot topics, or should I say, some big issues.
We'll see you then.